Hey guys, Carnifex Another Nerd. This video today, I'm gonna go over my top 10 best values in Dragon Champions. Hashtag not another top 10 video. I know. It started off as fewer than that, but as I was kind of pestering some of the peeps that I know are think a lot about this game too. Hey, is there stuff that you think I'm forgetting? Thing that maybe things that I'm not kind of valuing as much as I should, and that is worth putting in this video. And of course, it expanded, and I had to put a hard cap at 10 because that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go right into it. Basically, though, for people who are going to be watching, this is going to include actual purchases with real world money. This is going to include purchases with in-game currency, right? So the Dracoins, and it's going to include actually some usage of energy. So, gonna get on into it. This is I'm already trucking it on another graphic, and I can't be bothered to go in overload on another one. So I'm trucking away on that newbie / free to play guide infographic. But as someone that is not his day job, it's taken me a while, and it is also I'm still working on it. I don't want to take too much time out of that to make this, but I thought it was worth doing. So all the questions I was getting that were kind of correlated to this. So first thing, this comes to no surprise to anyone who's watched my newbie or free to play farming guide, 50 Dracoin energy refreshes. So you can do 3 of these a day, right? 3 of these a day, right? If you go in here, pop that, 50 Dracoins for 120 energy. Not only does that allow you to farm between 3 and 6 additional characters on hard modes on a daily basis, if you decide to use your energy that way, when you're leveling, that is so significant to get that account level up as soon as you can in order to unlock new gear levels, in order to be able to progress through the campaign, in order to be able to be more competitive in arena and tower and blah, 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 blah. So significant to boost your account level early on. And literally at the 50 Dracoin energy refresh, it is cheaper, is more cost efficient to spend your Dracoins on these energy refreshes than to buy gear outright with Dracoins. Every single piece of Dracoins where it is possible on non-hard mode nodes, it is more cost efficient to do it that way. So easily, no contest. I know it sounds kind of corny, but that is literally the best buy in this game. No joke. So, moving on to the next thing. Now, some of you might be surprised here. The number 2 thing is the premium battle pass. So what's the battle pass potentially if you're a little newer and you're not entirely sure? This right here is the battle pass. Now, I've already purchased it, so you can't see the offer, but basically US dollars, this goes $11 plus tax. So, you're looking at like 12-ish dollars. Keep that in mind because we're going to talk about something else a little later that's also great value, and I'll go into why later. So, this is easily the second most valuable thing because, and I'll get into why here whenever we get to a little later on. But basically, right now, here's what you get, right? You get tons of stuff. You get 100 extra shards of whatever champion is on the battle pass. Now with Rin, that wasn't so great because she's not super valuable right now. But for someone like Count Delman, where as soon as we get Thalon, it freaking better be Thalon for the next legendary. As soon as we get Thalon, just so that the levels actually have a leader, because we can't steal Soleus just for that. You don't actually get an extra team just using different characters. And freaking Zera, can you imagine like being a person early on who has 3-star Zera versus 5-star Zera? That's not nothing, but that's something. 5-star Zera lets you unlock Soleus with Zera potentially really early on. That leadership, because if you think about the thing that really holds back the orcs is that they have no way to get rid of these taunts, right, on these tanks, whether it's little baddie in tier 5 or whether it's the like the ads, right, in tier 7. Can't get rid of the tank. There's no cleanse, right? Because unless you have more doom, if you have more doom, you have Soleus. Let's just be straight. So Zera allows someone to unlock with way less gear because whenever little baddie cranks out his taunt in the beginning, it's wasted because it's not even going to stay because of the buff immunity that he has on him in turn 1. Soleus is going to burn that buff on somebody in that first round. so helpful, all because they spent $11 on that. And we are only talking about the shards right now. We have not talked about the 2,650 Dracoins you get. Those 2,650 Dracoins, for comparison, right? If you go into the shop and if you were to try and buy that many Dracoins, this is how you know I'm not cracking. I still have my my ×2 here for the second one. So look, if you were to get that, basically you need to spend $22. So already you have, just with the Dracoins alone, you are paying half as much as what you would have just for doing stuff that you would have already done in the game. So we're going to go back in here. The 2 million gold, right? You can buy that 2.2 million gold pack every 3 days, right, for $6. So if we tack it on already, if we ignore the shards, because it's hard to quantify the shards, but we're already talking almost $30 worth of stuff. Now you get into the scrolls, 120 blue scrolls, right? So you can, where's the ability scrolls one? Right here. You can get this ability scroll pack also every 3 days, but it's $22. Again, double the amount of the premium battle pass. So you're paying 4 times the amount of the premium battle pass just to get part of what's in it. Just between the Dracoins and the ability scrolls and gold alone, you're paying 4 times as much to get that as if you were just going here. It is not possible to purchase purple 4-star runes unless you go into the store, in which case it's a ton of gold, right? And yes, you would get to choose what secondaries and primaries were visible, but it might take you a couple weeks, unless you're doing refreshes pretty constantly, to get like the right one you want anyway. So yeah, can't even buy this. For people who, for context, whenever you unlocked the new tier of runes, like the new set type in the campaign, you get offered those 3-star blue, rune packs. They have 500k gold in them, but they cost $6 each, and these are purple, and one of them's 4-star. So again, basically the value of this easily exceeds $100 if you do the math on it. So we're just going to go through. You get 3.5 complete pieces of purple gear, right? You get of 250 Dracoin gear, right? So sorry, you get 5 pieces of 250 Dracoin gear pieces. Equates to 875 Dracoins, right? 3,000 Dracoin gear pieces for 3,000. Like, it's so much stuff that you get from this pack. This is even more valuable than number 3, which is gonna, again, not really come as a huge surprise, the monthly Dracoin subscription. So the reason why this couldn't quite take number 2 is it's basically half as much as the battle pass subscription, and it provides in the end less overall Dracoins in value. Now you do get more actual Dracoins, so you do have more flexibility with it. I was a little torn between 2 and 3, and if it weren't for the overwhelming value, because basically how it breaks down to is you get twice as many Dracoins in value. You get almost 12,000 Dracoins in value before you consider the shards. It's so much. So, and the shards are just more circumstantial, so it's really hard to quantify. They could be really valuable, or it's like somewhat valuable, just depended. There were so many variables. So anywho, this is a great purchase. It can also really cheaply unlock some of the other offers that you get early on in this game. These are things that weren't even there when I was around sometimes. So this one, the Freezard pack, right? This is like a like asterisk, like notable mention, really great value. You can get that for like a couple bucks early on, but like the Slinger, right? You get that monthly sub and you can get Slinger for free in addition to a few hundred energy, 100k gold, a lot of auto tickets, which people sometimes hurt for early on, all because you just got that sub. And the sub is basically the cheapest thing of incredible value that you can buy in this game. So without a doubt, number 3, Rudder. Number 4, the early game hero upgrade packs. Now, okay, that's a lot of words, right? What am I talking about? I am talking about these suckers. So again, I'm going to pop them over. Pop. Watching community right now. So you have these. Now, these are the first ones that'll be available to you, right? Now, what's some little tip about, a little cheat here, right? If you want to wait, or particularly if you're a little, if you're going to spend some, if you're going to buy some of these chests, right? Which buying chests, I don't have them listed on here because it's so circumstantial. Buying those chests can be valuable, but for someone who is only going to be doing these daily refreshes, it's probably the monthly sub and stuff like that. It's not going to be what you should spend it on for a little while until you're able to get through some of the campaign bit. So it may be worth it for some of you guys to do that. But anywho, what all of them say, if you farm a character to 4 stars, to the point where you can upgrade them to that. So the character may unlock at 10, but if you don't summon them until you can, on that screen, promote them to 4 stars before leaving, you can get up to 65 character shards here. Early on, you're not going to get any blue scrolls, was kind of a but as you can see, the people who blessed me by sharing these, they're in the UK, so they got some monies for us, but that are not dwellers. But if you average, it's basically a $2 pack and a $5 pack. And then add tax, right? So 100k gold, which is great, but scale it up. You get blue scrolls. You can make a debate on which time's kind of best, but the reality is you only have a limited time to buy them anyway. So for the most part, you're just going to need to be buying them as is. But these are super valuable because we haven't talked about the energy that's in this, because all the additional like low gear farming you're be able to do all like these you're gonna need so many of these boots and these belts and these diadems early on, because you're not far enough in the challenges. You haven't been able to just slowly accumulate those when you don't really need them. These are super, super valuable. They can save you months of farming, depending on what character it is. So I'm definitely a fan of doing it, but at some point, these are going to get all the way to $22 packs, and you do get more with that. You're going to get purple gear, which kind of depend. There are a couple characters that you can make a stronger argument for because they might have a lot of shackles or keystones or something like that in the packs. But the value is not as good as you move along. Even though it does scale, it's because the shards don't scale. If you can consider getting like 65 shards for $2 to $5 early on versus, hey, yeah, I am still getting those 65 shards, but I'm paying like $20. Yeesh, now we're starting to get a little out of range there, but right. So we really like the upgrade packs. Moving on. Next is, we missed the number. Clans. Why are we still missing it? Clans, 6-5 mission, 8 energy, Outcast, Shackle farm. So you're like, wait, what is this? This is literally one of my favorite farms in the entire game, because for most of this gear that costs 1,000 Dracoins at the shop, you're not able to get it for, you have to pay 1,000 Dracoins to get it, right? Or you have to do 10 energy refreshes, and basically that nets out to about even with the 100 energy, or with 100 Dracoin energy refreshes, except right here, because this is only 8 energy, and so that might sound silly, but you're gonna farm it 25% faster because it's 8 of 10, right? So add an extra 25% of generation over what you would have done if you would have had 10. You could also look at it as if you did 20% less, right? But this is when I'm looking to farm stuff. Basically, I'm either farming those freaking like top hats, right, or I'm farming the shackles with my energy for my regular mission campaigns after I'm done getting my hard modes. Whether I'm farming shards or farming blue scrolls, because every day you gotta be farming blue scrolls. Moving on. Gold packs, not chests. For those of you who know, the chests are a bit of a roulette, but they also are just overall, it's a lot. Now, it's not necessarily a bad idea to get the chest with Dracoins eventually, because again, gold is the limiting factor, but it's not super high value until pretty late in the game. Now, these are the gold packs that are going to cost you about $6, right? 2.2 million gold. That does a lot for you. That can take you from about like level 70 to level 80. It can do a bunch of stuff like that. So you're going to have very limited ways to really amp up your gold's income. So that even over the ability scrolls, I would really recommend the gold packs because of the cost. Moving on to the next one. Full demonic mockery from the shop. Now, I don't know if I have one in here right now. We gonna find out. I don't have a picture ready. Let's see if we can see it. Yes, we do, right here. So, perfect, beautiful, easy. This has 50 pieces in it. For Outcast Shackles, right? 50 pieces, 1,000. Where's some other one? Eritrea's Eye, 1,000. Knight's Gate, which is 250s, 2,000, right? For whatever reason, and don't you guys dare change this now that I'm making the point, you need tons of these. Not as many as you need Shackles, but you need tons of these, particularly for your DPS and tacticians. Tons. And for whatever reason, they cost half as much. I will only ever farm Demonic Mockery with the energy, with energy if I am like pretty close to a full piece. I will pretty much just usually just go in. Now for me, I get top in arena pretty much every day. So this is like, hey, that's what I'm using with my arena day. But getting a Demonic Mockery every day, whereas if half as frequently, that's a pretty significant difference. And you do farm it some from its challenge. But even then, one, it's pretty hard until you get Renara at least to max out the challenge for it. But even then, you're only going to be getting 12 of them a day, which is considerably less than if you look at the Shackles, right? So you're getting only 2/3 as many, which again doesn't sound like a lot until you expand it over a long period of time. Then you're like, oh, I'm getting 50% more complete Shackles than those. And the Shackles cost twice as much from the shop. Anywho, so moving on. We did that. Next, we have... Oh, we missed again. I'll have to fix that. Sorry for my jank. Oh, man, I missed it again. Why are you doing this to me? There we go. We got it. So, you're going to have to... This is where I'm going to recommend your 20 energy hard mode farm. Tier 6 and 7 raid / tourney and star shop gear pieces. So what am I talking about right here? These are your Cursed Madness, which costs 1k, right? The little bells, right? These are your dragon veils, right? The little like kind of like robe looking thing. The Overthrower, which is the scarier looking bow and arrow, and the Hand of the Primordial, which is like the gloves that cost 1.5k. So these cost varying amounts, but most of them are pretty similar value. So the reason why I put these here is because you can't farm them from 10 energy nodes, and if you're going to farm more than 5 times a day, you have to spend Dracoins. So your ability to farm them is significantly reduced. The star and the tournament shop, right, are the two where you're going to have crunches for a while, unless you're Whaley, and then you're not going to have an issue with Star Shop, but you might still even have one in the Tourney shop because you can buy gold there, you can buy blue scrolls. There's a lot of things for you to use on there in addition to those tournament character exclusive shards. So there's a lot fewer ways to get these, and particularly those Cursed Madnesses. Some kind of the Overthrows at a similar degree, but the Cursed Madnesses will really cap your progression with gear because of how difficult it is to get that gear. Thankfully, there are some good characters on the nodes that come along with where you do farm those. So it's not ones where you're wasting the farm just to get those. You are getting good character shards as well, as long as you still need them. But I put those in at number 8 because of their limited capacity to farm. Next, at number 9, we have the popular 10 energy farm gear. These are your Bayes life essence recipes, right? So not the shackles, but the things that go with it to make the belt. That costs 1,000 in the shop. Keystones, 1,000 in the shop. You can farm both of those for 10 energy, along with the Outcast shackles, which you get for 8. So you need a lot more shackles than you need Bayes life essence recipe, right? But you do naturally get them through challenges. So I am still putting them in here. I've bought some shackles because it's what's made sense. But at the same time, not as significant. And the final one is the Knight's Gate recipes. You, again, don't need as many of them, but sometimes it makes more sense just to buy one outright. And finally, and honestly, this isn't necessarily this is going to be pretty circumstantially recommended. And there's a caveat to it, like right out the gate. So the $100 Dracoin chest times 2. This is not the normal one. This is if you have the times 2 offer and during good personal events. What are personal events? Personal events are what we're doing right now with Zera, right? So you get it from spending Dracoins, you get spending energy, daily login. But the majority of the shards you only get from buying with real money Dracoins, right? So 14,000, if you look at the shop, shocker, that is just under what you get whenever you buy the card of Dracoin. So it's $100 with the $10 of tax. So this is going to rule out a lot of people, but for those who, again, are maybe more in like the dolphin range, if you're going to spend on that, you will probably, at that point, now we're talking, this is someone who should be buying some character chests for sure. You should be going into this right here, and you should be, I don't know if it'll even let me do it right now. Okay, you should be cranking out. I would almost possibly spend all of them on this, depending on who you pull and how you pull them. Because unlocking characters you actually want to invest in long term early on can be really helpful, not only because they'll be better and able to help you climb through campaign and such more quick and tower all that more quickly, but at the same time, excuse me, you're going to spare yourself a lot of energy later on that you would have had to use farming people that you now use for other things. So if you're going to do that, that's the place to do it. But if you can, because you want to do that pretty early on, right? Because we talked about those other packs with the character upgrades, they get to $10 a pack once you hit level 44. So that's at the point at where it jumps up and doubles in cost. And again, like the cost per shard is going up significantly, even though you are getting other things. So if you want to do it, I would recommend, if you know that in a few more days, because we had the uncommon, I don't know if it'll show it right now, but we had like no, it's not even showing it. We had the like uncommon event where there isn't a character as a part of the rewards. I would not do that purchase during that time. I would do it during a time where we're getting a character like Zera or eventually Count Delman we're going to get, right? Whoever else they decide to release this way. Like Selena, I would not have recommended that as the ideal time to do it. Or if you're someone who bought any kind of pack earlier on, you're looking when's the best time to buy any kind of pack at the ×2 value, the Dracoin pack at ×2 value later, I would just hold on to it until the next really great. Now, Zera is a great character to do that on. Easily a character that is worth doing it on, but there will be more characters coming in the future, and maybe you're like, hey, you know what? I know I'm not going to spend enough to get her to 7 stars, and I know I can unlock her to 6 just by doing that. Maybe I'll wait on someone else. So anywho, those are Carnifex's top 10 values in Dragon Champions. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.